code.
Yeah, but I did that too, and then I X'd out, and all of a sudden it popped up.
That's what I got.
Here, I'll share with
Oh,
you.
is this it? Okay.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
it. Yeah, weird,
All
right?
Yeah, okay. All right. So this discussion item is one that is necessary because we have learned that it's not a good practice for the district to be involved in scheduling, and Ms. Stevens, correct me if I'm wrong, in scheduling the Meet the Candidates night. But, and our attorney advised us that the practice is better served, and it's done this way in many districts where the PTOs, PTAs work with the League of Women Voters, and they schedule it, and they advertise for it. And because the timing is sort of very close to the election, we kind of wanted to have a discussion because we just didn't want to stop doing it and not be able to communicate, or at least have some sort of a transitional period so that the candidates that are currently running had the same opportunities as candidates that preceded them. But the issue here is not that it can't happen, it's who is supposed to be organizing it, facilitating it, and advertising. So if I said anything inaccurate, Ms. Stevens, correct me, please.
You got that right? Completely.
So at this time, what we have to do is decide as a board what we want to do this year, because we got advisement from council that you know, we could put bios on the website, but we have to add a disclaimer because, you know, whatever is in a statement and we're putting it on our website, technically, you know, we own it. So I think what we have to do is decide what we're going to do moving forward. Now, have we heard back from the PTOs, Ms. Stevens?
No, I haven't heard anything from them, and neither has the League of Women Voters. Originally today, they told me that they had, so I was happy, but then they said, oh no, that's Putnam Valley. So in fact, they were mistaken. So they have not heard from our PTOs. I have not heard from our PTOs since I emailed and said that I wasn't going to coordinate it. At this point, it's really up to you guys what you want me to do. I can still pull it together. There's no question. I can still pull it together for this year.
I think that my concern is that we have had this in the past for so many years, and from what I'm reading from the attorneys, though they don't recommend it, there's nothing illegal or there's nothing that we can't do it. Like, we're not breaking any policy or law if we do it. So my feeling would be that I would like the district to be involved this year, but maybe make it very clear that this is a transitional year. This is a year that we are passing the baton to, if the League of Women Voters can take it on themselves, that would be terrific. If the PTOs want to be involved, that's terrific. If some other organization wants to be involved, that's terrific. But what I don't want to do is deprive the three candidates plus the community in, the what is it called, Meet the Candidates Night, is very, this community pays attention to that.
Yeah.
So that's my feeling.
And I don't think that there's ever going to be a time that the League of Women Voters will coordinate it, but they certainly will work with any PTOs or PTAs that want to do it, but they have to agree who's going to coordinate it amongst themselves. But yeah, I agree.
Maybe that's something we could put on, like the PTO, PTA liaison agenda. Like, maybe I could bring that to our next meeting, for next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's an understanding thing.
Right.
I think that what the PTO, PTAs in the past, I think, has funded it, and the League of Women Voters is the service that we use or that they've provided funding for to be the facilitators for the event. But that's why they'll never own coordinating it.
When
But
you say funded,
No, they moderate, and they do it, they're a timekeeper. So they basically,
we pay them. Well, not we,
Oh.
the PTOs, PTAs
I
pay
didn't
them.
know.
those
Okay, so-
PTAs pay
Yeah,
for
they're
it,
service.
so the
And
League
they
of
char-
Women Voters,
charges $85 for it.
$85.
And then it's split amongst the 5 PTOs.
Okay,
And
all right.
they,
Didn't know that.
you know, provide a moderator and a timekeeper.
Okay.
So what we're looking for technically is a clerk role from the PTOs to own reaching out on an annual basis to the League of Women Voters, not only funding it, but coordinating it and then working with the district to figure out if or how we would put it on our website. But really what we're saying is that we're thinking about, or we're saying we want the PTOs as the outside organization to make the executive decision whether or not they want to own this and provide this opportunity for the community to meet the candidates. And then we have to decide the bios. Are we going to put the bios on the district website moving forward with a disclaimer?
I think it's important to have the bios on the website. I think having a disclaimer out there,
That's fine, yeah.
any
I
rational
agree.
person seeing the disclaimer is going to realize that the district is not endorsing whatever the candidate is saying, and that those are the candidate's personal views and statement. But I do think it's important to keep that presence or information on the website, because as the president said, I do believe this is a very engaged community when it comes to our school district, and to deny access to that channel of information, I think would be a disservice to our community.
Well, one thing I will say is the bios, we were given a word limit. So I think that's an important part.
Mhm.
It's 250 words.
Yes.
Yep.
We don't want pages.
Jason says exactly 250 words.
I think I gave you 3,000, Joanne.
I had to send a couple back.
Okay, so do we have the information we need?
So I'm going to go ahead and coordinate it and do what I normally do, and I'm,
For this year?
for this year, and in the PTO liaison meeting, we're going to address, or you guys are going to address.
I'll bring it up as a topic of conversation and see if
Okay.
it's something they want to do. If
Right.
it's not, then, you know, the board for next year, I think, you know, really early on in the year, this will be a board discussion. And, you know, but,
Yeah.
you know, I think for this year, there's, what, 3 weeks left before the election?
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that it's too quick to do that big of a transition if there's nothing that our lawyers are saying that, you know, we have to stop, right? So, yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Is that how everybody feels? I feel like I'm the only one talking. Yeah?
Yes.
Any other comments? 7, old business, 7.01. Any old board comments?